F&M Killarney Association breaks its silence, speaking out against the party's decision to sideline former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis. Tonight, why they're calling it unfair and urging party leaders to follow the Constitution. Also, half the island in the dark as BPL blames a system disturbance at Clifton Pier for a major outage in New Providence last night, how long it lasted and what went wrong. Straight ahead. Plus, the island of Eleuthera comes back into focus and Tarpon Bay is standing out. Find out how one family-owned hotel is making a big impact on South Eleuthera's tourism industry. Then in our news at 7:30, the U.S. casting a net of new tariffs that could reel in trouble for local seafood exports. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. In a major shift, United States President Donald Trump has hit pause on most global tariffs for 90 days, but he's going even harder on China. The White House confirmed taxes on Chinese imports have skyrocketed to 125% effective immediately. U.S. Treasury officials say the pause applies to most U.S. trading partners except China. But there's growing global concern as some U.S. allies are already hitting back with tariffs of their own. Business leaders say it's a risky game and a global recession could be on the horizon, the possibility putting our government on alert. And as the Davis administration watches closely for fallout from Trump's tariff, there is some good news on the economy. Recent positive updates from an international ratings agency giving government a boost of optimism. Tonight, Atalia Hall speaks with the Economic Affairs Minister about what the economic upgrade means and whether the global tariffs could bring new challenges.
Moody's, a leading global credit rating agency, has raised the Bahamas' financial outlook from stable to positive, suggesting the country is on a path towards greater fiscal stability. On the sidelines of a groundbreaking ceremony for the Coconut Grove Advanced Health Center, Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis said the news is encouraging.
Within the next 6 to 12 months, they will do a further credit review, and the bias will be towards an upgrade. So it's very encouraging, a positive sign for us.
Halkitis emphasized that a better credit rating means the country can borrow at lower costs. He added the government felt this upgrade was long overdue.
What it is, bottom line, is that it's an objective assessment of the economic and financial picture of the country.
But while the outlook at home is positive, there is concern globally, particularly in light of U.S. President Donald Trump's implementation of tariffs on countries around the world. Some industry leaders have expressed concern about the potential impact on the pharmaceutical sector. Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville admits his ministry is concerned.
We are watching it very closely. We are in cooperation with the Ministry of Finance to see exactly how we would be impacted. But I'm certain that as we are now going through the budget cycle, the adjustments as a result of these increased tariffs would be taken into consideration, and it should be reflected in the budget.
As of Wednesday, reports confirm President Trump implemented a 90-day pause on higher import duties for dozens of countries, but increased tariffs on China to 125%. Minister Halkitis acknowledged the global uncertainty, but remains hopeful that reason will prevail.
You know, Bahamas imports virtually everything that it consumes from the U.S., so I struggle to see how we have a trade deficit with the U.S. that would justify some sort of, what do you call it, reciprocal tariff. Our concern is should this back and forth tariff, tit-for-tat tariff raising between the major economies lead to a decline in the global economy, then, you know, we have reason to be concerned.
Reporting for our news, I'm Atalia Hall.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Atalia. Half of New Providence plunged into darkness Tuesday night. A system issue at Bahamas Power and Light's Clifton Pier Power Station knocked out electricity across New Providence, leaving thousands of homes and businesses without power, some areas in the dark for up to an hour. BPL's Chief Operating Officer, Anthony Christie, confirmed the blackout hit around 8:31 p.m.
At Station A, which is at Clifton Pier, we lost about 83 megawatts of generation on the system. So immediately our teams assessed and determined what the root cause was and started restoration. We had a lot of spare capacity at the other plants, so we started to bring on those units. So the longest outage was for most customers, for a minimum amount of customers, about an hour.
Meanwhile, the Davis administration has just signed 3 agreements to bring more renewable energy to New Providence, Eleuthera, Abaco, and Exuma. Prime Minister Philip Davis calling it a game changer, saying it's time to tap into our own sunshine to power our communities. The first deal between the Ministry of Energy, BPL, and Eco Energy Bahamas is expected to add 20 megawatts of solar power to the national grid. Davis says the partnership shows the country serious about making solar energy a key part of our future.
This project will deliver the first significant solar installation in New Providence. At Coral Harbor, Eco Energy Bahamas will construct a 20 megawatt solar facility supported by a 5 megawatt hour battery energy storage system. This installation will inject 20 megawatts of clean, renewable power into our grid.
And the second deal targets Abaco, Eleuthera, and Exuma with EA Energy and Exuma Renewable Energy, bringing more reliable power to those islands. Energy Minister Jobeth Kobe Davis says these projects will improve resource management, add new energy capabilities, and strengthen sustainability. She also shared that microgrids will help ensure residents get reliable power every day.
The requirement for battery energy storage systems to be incorporated in each project is crucial for us to ensure seamless backup power in the event of a loss of the primary generation system. To ensure the success of these projects, microgrid controllers will be employed across all microgrids around the Family Islands. This will improve efficiency, maximize savings, and increase reliability by alerting BPL of any outages or changes to the system.
A former wanted suspect is behind bars on a murder charge. Prosecutors allege that 18-year-old Akeem Nixon fatally shot Edward Thompson on March 11. According to police, the 27-year-old was walking along Fleming Street when a gunman on a bicycle shot him multiple times. Nixon didn't have to enter a plea to the charge when he stood before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. He was denied bail and is next due in court on July 12th to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. And the F&M's Killarney Association breaking its silence, and they're not mincing words. Furious over the party's move to sideline former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, they say he's been done wrong, and they're demanding the party follow its own rules. Berthany McDermott, who was outside the Constituency Association meeting Tuesday night, has the fallout in this R News exclusive.
Unfair and a breach of the party's constitution. That's how the Killarney F&M Association is describing the party's decision not to run former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis in the upcoming general election. The association's executive team met with Dr. Minnis at the West Bay Street office Tuesday evening, hoping to chart the way forward. Association First Vice Chairman Cardi Cox says despite the tension, they believe Dr. Minnis would have still been ratified.
Now, upon hearing this message and this news that they are not going to run Dr. Minnis in the Killarney constituency in the upcoming general election, that was very depressing to us and the whole executive.
The party's constitution reads that a constituency association may submit to the executive committee the names of persons it considers suitable candidates in any election for parliamentary or local government seats. It continues, in the event that the executive committee of the party shall reject or fail to ratify any of the candidates whose names have been submitted by the constituency association, the executive committee shall forthwith communicate with the constituency association in writing to ascertain whether there may be other persons whom the constituency association may consider to be suitable candidates, and the executive committee shall not ratify any such candidates until it has consulted.
Constitution is clear, and this was not done.
F&M leader Michael Pintard made the announcement Sunday in front of a packed Mackey Street headquarters. Pintard, however, admitted that Minnis did not agree to not seek re-election. Dr. Minnis did not speak to us following the meeting, but he did say he would release a statement this week. The association says the party has not identified another candidate for the area.
We will not support another candidate. We support Dr. Hubert Minnis. There is no reason under the sun why he should not get it.
Now, the association says they're unclear what Dr. Minnis will do moving forward. However, they left one message for the party, and that is to follow the Constitution.
I just feel they need to stop the division and bring unity and put right where right is. Once you follow the Constitution, you won't have a problem, you know. Everything moves smoothly. But once you go against it, it's a problem. And we will not go against Dr. Minnis or any undermining of him and our association.
Reporting for our news, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks so much for that, Berthany. We go now to the island of Eleuthera, home to more than a dozen settlements spread across the island's 110 miles. One of them is Tarpon Bay, my hometown. I actually grew up there, known for having a tight-knit community and beautiful beaches. It's also home to a family-owned and operated hotel that's helping boost tourism for South Eleuthera. Our Jasmine Brown has their inspiring story in this report.
The quaint settlement of Tarpon Bay is situated between Rock Sound and Savannah Sound. It's been home to the Hilton family for generations. But the family doesn't just have roots in the South Eleuthera community. They also have a family-owned business that includes a 10-room hotel as well as a restaurant and bar that serves up delicious food and refreshing drinks. Dr. Jeanne Hilton says it all started with her grandaunt, who the family affectionately calls Aunt Mary. She opened Hilton's Haven in the 1970s, and it quickly became a favorite for visitors. Jeanne showed me hundreds of signatures from a nearly 50-year-old visitor's log where guests from across the world signed in. And the property has been thriving ever since, recently undergoing renovations to make it a modern boutique hotel that features a pool.
I'm very grateful that we still have this in the family. I'm very grateful that she started it. I'm very grateful that the heritage still passes through us.
In addition to being a family business, the property is also a homestead for the Hiltons who don't live on Eleuthera but visit regularly. It's where Jeanne and her sister Kayanne have some of their fondest memories.
Always came here to see my grandaunt, Aunt Mary, as well as with my daddy and his siblings, as well as cousins. And it was just a lot of fun growing up here every year, getting to leave Nassau, coming to Eleuthera.
Now those memories are being shared by local and international visitors who stay at the hotel. Hilton's Haven manager Lawrence Roll says they have a lot to offer guests.
We provide hospitality, we provide home. When you come to us, you feel at home. We do have a 10-room hotel, 5 double queens and 5 single queens. Each room is microwave, refrigerator, free Wi-Fi, free live TV. We do offer room service. As the hotel continues to attract visitors from across the world, the family says they will continue Aunt Mary's legacy.
We're going to do our best to make sure that what she started does not end with us.
Reporting for our news from Tarpon Bay, Eleuthera, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, what a legacy. Love to see it. And a special shout out to everyone in Tarpon Bay watching right now. We've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Canino, and a happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Cloudy conditions on the outside. We have some showers lurking in the vicinity. We had a couple of those earlier today. 76 is our current temperature under mostly cloudy skies. Your winds are out of the west-northwest at 15 miles per hour. With a bit of a breeze, your feels-like temperature is at 74. Temperatures right now around the islands, it's 75 in Grand Bahama, Freeport, this magic city, 75 also in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, and in Alistown, Bimini. 76 is Nicholstown, Andros, Great Harbor, Keithbury Islands, and here in the capital, Governor's Harbor, 77. Into the Central Bahamas, 78 in Kemps Bay and in Arthurstown. Georgetown, the Exumas, 79, and in Copentown, San Salvador, Deadman's Key, 80. And of course, my friends over there in Rumkey, your temperature is hanging out near the 80-degree mark as well. 80 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Delectable Bay, Abraham's Bay. We pick up 81 in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Matthewtown, Inagua, 82. And our very good neighbors to the southeast, Turks and Caicos Islands, you have a temperature right now of 84. This is the setup. Frontal boundary moving to the northwest Bahamas early this morning, pushing into the central Bahamas as we speak. A lot of showers associated with that boundary affecting portions of the northwest Bahamas and the central Bahamas. Bulk of the shower activity now moving into the central Bahamas as well. And we do have quite a bit of activity out there in the open Atlantic. A low pressure system attached to that boundary is actually going to wrap some of this moisture around, so we could see some residual showers across the northwest Bahamas. But the thinking is most of the activity will be moving into the central Bahamas tonight, eventually pushing into the southeast Bahamas by Thursday. Nice conditions expected behind that for the balance of the week. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, they may be underclassmen in the NCAA, but they're seniors on this year's Carifta team. We'll tell you some of the returning names to watch for. The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all alive.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. What's been described as a strong Carifta track and field team will have a few collegiate underclassmen leading the way for this much heralded group. Georgia Southern sophomore Shatalia Dorset returns for her fourth Carifta appearance following a standout indoor season where she was named Sunbelt Women's Track Newcomer of the Year and to the All Sunbelt team. Wyoming freshman jumper Coy Adderley also returns for her fourth Carifta appearance. Headed into year 52, the Carifta Track and Field Championships have garnered a reputation as not just one of the top junior meets in the region, but in the world. NACAC President Mike Sands addressed the members of this year's team, impressing on them the magnitude of the event and the opportunity they have with the international track and field community watching. A hotbed for recruiting Caribbean talent, then IAAF President, the late Lemaine Diac, once called the Carifta Games on par with the World Championships due to the high concentration of world-class performances. The spotlight is currently on our juniors, but our pro athletes have also been active on the outdoor circuit. A pair of Bahamians were on track at the much-anticipated inaugural Grand Slam event in Kingston, Jamaica. Terrence Jones continues to work his way back after last season's devastating hamstring injury. Denisha Cartwright also finished sixth in the women's 100-meter hurdles in 12.96 seconds. 3 games remain in the regular season, and there's still a lot left to be decided for Buddy Hield and the Golden State Warriors. Hield scored 7 points, and the Warriors defeated the Phoenix Suns last night 133-95 on the road in Phoenix. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as U.S. President Donald Trump makes a shock move, suspending most global tariffs while doubling down on China with a staggering 125% tax. This as China fires back at President Trump's sweeping tariffs, raising duties on U.S. goods to 84%. Plus, a deadly nightclub collapse in Santo Domingo claims 124 lives. Hundreds inside when the roof caved in during a concert. We'll tell you the ongoing rescue efforts when Our News returns.
All Alive Fiber basketball fans, get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent services. So I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of parking.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Facing a global market meltdown, U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday made a dramatic U-turn, suspending most of his global tariffs for 90 days, but jacking up taxes on Chinese imports to a staggering 125%. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent confirmed the pause applies to nearly all major U.S. trading partners, but Trump doubled down on China, saying the new rate was effective immediately. Markets surged briefly, but business leaders are warning a recession could be looming as some U.S. allies slap back with their own tariffs. Tariffs that kicked in overnight included 25% on South Korea, 24% on Japan, and 20% on the European Union. Meanwhile, China firing back at President Trump's sweeping tariffs, raising duties on U.S. imports to 84%, up from 34%, according to the Finance Ministry. This comes as Trump's 104% levy on Chinese goods took effect, triggering fresh fears of a global recession. State media slammed the U.S. move as trade tyranny, while officials warned the tariffs could devastate China's already fragile economy. Beijing hasn't ruled out more retaliation, with reports it may ban Hollywood films and suspend fentanyl cooperation with Washington. The American Chamber of Commerce in China says chaos won't help consumers or the economy on either side. The Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association urging the U.S. to rethink proposed port fees and tariffs on Chinese-made vessels, warning they could hurt both the Caribbean and Florida tourism. The group says new service fees, up to $1.5 million per port of call, would raise import costs, increase prices for tourists, and weaken demand. In a submission to U.S. trade officials, CHTA called for Caribbean exemptions, pointing to the $91 billion tourism generates for the region. The group's head says the industry still recovering from the pandemic and can't afford new economic pressure. A national tragedy in the Dominican Republic, as at least 124 people are dead and over 150 injured after the roof collapsed at a packed nightclub in Santo Domingo early Tuesday morning. Emergency officials say hundreds were inside Jet Set Club when it caved in during a live concert by merengue legend Ruby Perez. He's among those confirmed dead, along with former MLB pitcher Octavio Dotel and Governor Nelsie Cruz. Emergency Chief Juan Manuel Mendez says crews have 24 to 36 hours left to find survivors. President Luis Abinader has declared 3 days of mourning. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was April 9th. Then in our news at 7:30, from struggle to opportunities. Tonight in City in Focus, we're exploring Freeport's efforts to grow its tourism industry by connecting Bahamian entrepreneurs with international partners. But first, deal or no deal? The F&M speaks out on the Davis administration's decision to pause a controversial no-bid contract awarded to a Bahamas Striping Group affiliate. The story when our news returns.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to...
This is our news. Welcome back. On this day in Bahamian history in 1697, William Craven, the first Earl of Craven, died in London at the age of 89. Former military commander and patron of the arts, Craven was one of the original Lords Proprietors of the Bahamas, serving as the colony's second governor from 1670 to 1679. In 2018, then Attorney General Carl Bethel revealed plans for major immigration reforms, proposing migrants who land illegally could be deported without first going to court. And in 2021, Prince Philip, husband of Queen Elizabeth II, passed away at Windsor Castle at the age of 99. The longest-serving royal consort in British history, the prince visited the Bahamas multiple times during the 1960s through the 1980s. If you want to learn more about the day that was April 9th, head over to ournews.bs. All right, turning now to a remarkable milestone. One centenarian giving thanks as he marks 100 years of life, love, and lessons. Our News visited Courtney Murray Forbes, born April 7th, 1925. We met a sprightly Mr. Forbes surrounded by family and friends, celebrating a life well lived. From his early work as a contract laborer in segregated America to years in the hotel industry and later as a dedicated church usher, Forbes says he's grateful for every experience. A century later, he reflects on a journey filled with purpose, gratitude, and faith.
I got none to drive because all I do is waiting on time. Only one man I got to focus on. That's Jehovah. But my age, I got the age I am, and to know what I know, and only one man can help me. He been with me from my mother's home. He was with me until now. And I hope one day to be with him.
All right, now the centenarian also received a visit by Governor General Dame Cynthia Mother Pratt. Forbes crediting his faith, discipline, and prayerful routine for his longevity. It's that spiritual foundation he says he hopes to pass on to others.
And advise all you all in here who don't know the Lord as your personal Savior. The Lord is the day, Lord, not tomorrow. The Lord promised, tomorrow promised to no man. Nobody knows the hour and the time when he's coming, you know what I mean? Plenty of us go to bed and never wake up.
All right, and happy birthday again from all of us here at Our News. If you want to watch his story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. It's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Megan Shepard. She's got the latest headline. Megan, to be 100. Right. Like, I mean, what a life.
Blessing.
What a long life lived, right?
I must go back and watch that and take those words of advice and wisdom with me.
Exactly, but also when you think you're old, right?
Right. I have a birthday coming up this month too.
I wish. That's right. That's right.
Yes,
2 weeks.
Just about. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much, Candino. Well, from struggles to opportunities, tonight we're exploring Freeport's efforts to grow its tourism industry by connecting Bahamian entrepreneurs with international partners. Here are your latest headlines. New tariffs poised to make major waves in the country's most lucrative export. Industry leaders say the added cost could spell trouble for the fishing industry. Plus, calling for accountability. The opposition leader questioning how government could make a $183 million mistake. And then, as the general election draws near, the talk of who's making the ballot and who's not heats up. A current parliamentarian confirming his decision to not seek re-election. And later, a mother's desperate plea for her daughter to have the same opportunities as every other student. We'll tell you how a shortage of teachers' aides is affecting her disabled daughter. These stories and more when our news returns.
If you want a real nice, tasty Bahamian dish, there's a place on the fish fry. You can't resist. You can watch this.
Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new Sweet and Smoky Barbecue Cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new Sweet and Smoky Barbecue Cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
Diet-friendly special.
Welcome to our news, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. In a dramatic turn of events, U.S. President Donald Trump has hit pause on most global tariffs for the next 90 days, but not on China. The White House confirmed today that taxes on Chinese imports have skyrocketed to 125% effective immediately. There's growing concern around the world as U.S. allies are pushing back with their own tariffs, and business leaders warn the risk of a global recession rising. This has governments, including ours, on high alert. And here at home, the stakes are even higher than ever. These new tariffs could have a serious impact on one of the country's most lucrative industries, fishing. With the U.S. being the destination for most of our seafood exports, industry leaders are concerned that rising costs will ripple through the entire supply chain, threatening jobs and livelihoods. Our Delfado Emmanuel has the story.
A 10% U.S. tariff on goods imported into the U.S. is expected to impact over 100 countries, including the Bahamas. Industry officials warn that while tariffs may seem small, Bahamian seafood export costs to the U.S. could rise by up to 30% once shipping and other fees are included. Bahamas Commercial Fishers Alliance President Adrian Larota says the current season remains largely unaffected, but August lobster season will be the real test.
U.S. customers could be paying as much as probably 40 to 50% more for our fisheries products than they would have been paying, earlier this year. So that in itself could affect how much product is going to be sold to the U.S. market.
Larota says that the kind of price jump could drive down demand from American buyers, making it harder for local exporters to move product and maintain sale volumes.
U.S. consumers are not purchasing the product from the 2024 season. The buyers are definitely going to be very cautious about the 2025 season. We expect that we'll be facing some headwinds in terms of exports.
In the face of these challenges, Larota is calling on local fishermen to strengthen their presence in the domestic market.
We're coming up on the Easter season, and right now the high demand for scale fish, particularly snappers and other fish. There's a high demand for it. I'm trying to convince our guys now to let's go back to some things we used to do before. Traditionally, we supplied a greater volume of the traditional Easter fish at Easter time.
Still, the Fishers Alliance president says the Bahamas remains a strong player in the global seafood industry, exporting consistently high-quality product that competitors in Belize, Mexico, and even Africa struggle to match.
And our competition in this region is Belize, to the point now that Mexico now is doing exports, but their tariffs are much higher than ours. Their taxes are much higher than ours. So, we still have that advantage.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks for that, Delvardo. Well, meantime, the Free National Movement is weighing in on the Davis administration's decision to pause a controversial no-bid contract that was awarded to a Bahamas striping group of companies affiliate. However, Joshua Williams spoke with the F&M leader on the sidelines of a health seminar for law enforcement officers this morning. Take a look.
Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard not accepting the government's explanation for that controversial $183 million no-bid contract that was awarded to an affiliate of Bahamas striping group of companies for roadworks. Yesterday, the Office of the Prime Minister broke its silence on the matter, announcing the contract had been paused and was included on a recently published public procurement list due to an administrative error. On March 31st, the Davis administration published a public procurement list of government contracts awarded in December 2024 and January 2025, revealing Abaco Caribbean Holdings Limited, ACH, received a $183 million contract on December 18, 2024 for West Grand Bahama roadworks through a direct award. Pintard calling government's explanation a poor excuse.
Why does the Prime Minister insult the intelligence of Bahamians? How is it possible that you could have made a $183 million mistake and then go further to blame others?
Opposition leader says the habit of what he describes as non-competitive bidding by the Davis administration is nothing new, adding the moorings deal in Exuma, along with government's energy reform deals, has set a pattern for the way government carries out business.
The manner in which the Prime Minister is executing the contract, he is depriving other Bahamians of an opportunity to bid and own a piece of the rock.
The Office of the Prime Minister says it has completed a review of the decision-making process and the timeliness related to the publication of a list of contracts concluded with various vendors in accordance with the Public Procurement Act. OPM Communications Director Latrey Raming denying the opposition's claims of cutting unfair deals.
As stated in our previous statements, there were no wrongdoing, no improper intent, and no malfeasance.
But Pintard says the next steps should be
that they should follow the law and reveal the contracts and what the cost is to the Bahamian people of these contracts.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much, Josh. Well, the questions didn't stop there. Opposition leader Michael Pintard once again pressing government for answers in the Bahama legal battle, where accusations were levied against a former PLP government. His comments coming as a New York appeals court upheld Sarkis Maryland's $1.7 billion award for damages related to fraud and breach of contract. His case against China Construction America, CCA, over the original Bahama project's failure. The New York Appellate Court Division dismissed CCA's appeal, upholding that the Chinese company was liable for fraud and breach of contract. While Pintard believes the Ismailian family will not take any action to harm the hotel workers and the tourism industry, he's accusing Prime Minister Davis of deliberate silence in the face of the former PLP government's involvement and senior government officials serving that administration at the time.
We have indicated we're prepared to work with all the stakeholders to ensure that Bahama and the other financial interests that CCA has in the Bahamas, that it does not damage the tourism product of the Bahamas, that these properties do not close and put Bahamians out of work. We have some degree of optimism that the Ismailian family has indicated they don't intend to do anything that would negatively affect both the reputation of the country as well as the viability of those businesses.
Meanwhile, the F&M facing internal tension as the Killarney Association breaks its silence, fuming over the decision to sideline former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis. They say he's been treated unfairly and are calling on the party to follow its own rules. You can watch the full story that's available now on the Our News Bahamas Facebook page and on ournews.bs. Progressive Liberal Party Member of Parliament for North Duluth, Sylvanus Petty, says he will not seek renomination ahead of the 2026 general election, citing the need for a mental break. Petty told reporters Wednesday that after careful reflection and talks with his family, stepping away from frontline politics is the best decision for him, despite disappointing some of his constituents.
I spoke to my family, with much prayer and fasting. So, I just decided to take a break. There's nothing to do with renomination. It's just that I decided to take a break for a while. I definitely will be back. But I'm going to take like a 5-year break, and I'm definitely coming back in 5 years.
Petty made his political debut in the 2021 general election, eventually securing the role of Deputy House Speaker. He's also the former chair of the Water and Sewerage Corporation, stepping down in 2023 after it was revealed his daughter had been awarded a contract with the company. And now, as he steps back from frontline politics, Petty says he's proud of the work he's done for his constituents. Royal Bahamas Defense Force officers stationed in Haiti since last year are set to be replaced later this week, according to National Security Minister Wayne Monroe. The officers' mission has been to help stabilize Haiti, which has been struggling with significant unrest and gang violence. The first term of officers completed their 6-week mission and returned home in February, reporting no encounters with violence or gangs. It's unclear if the officers returning this week were part of that same mission, but Minister Monroe gave this update.
We should receive back this week 4 officers and 2 Marines from Port-au-Prince Airport in Haiti who have been there for 6 months, and replace them with 3 other officers who will be going for 6 months.
Well, rainy weather in the capital today, but as to what we can expect for the remainder of the week, well, Greg Thompson joins us now in the Weather Center. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy Wednesday evening, everybody. We have some showers in the vicinity, also cloudy conditions on the outside. Temperatures are a little comfortable, 76 degrees, but it feels like 74, and we have that west-northwesterly wind flow at 50 miles per hour, meaning the front has gone through the capital. Satellite radar composite showing the setup right now. That frontal boundary now pushing into the central Bahamas. Still have some residual showers across the northwest Bahamas, but the bulk of the activity will be moving across the central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow, and we expect most of the conditions to start improving with what's left of the front moving into the southeast Bahamas by tomorrow night. Nice conditions, a slight cool down behind that, but not much in terms of any real cool weather. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. We'll tell you more about what you can expect for the balance of the week when we come back.
Still to come on our news, a mother's fight to find a school to meet her child's unique needs. One mother on the island of Abaco is sharing her story. Plus, City in Focus is back. Tonight, we're highlighting Grand Bahama's push to grow its tourism product. The details coming up when our news returns.
Diet-friendly special.
Easter celebrates generosity, and this bunny agrees. He's busy showing his generosity this season. At the paint place, we're having a 20% store-wide sale. Our gift to you: stop by and get colors that allow you to paint it right the first time.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. 3 state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield.
And now to the story from Abaco, a mother who simply wants her child to go to school and receive the same opportunities as any other student, something she's been fighting for since 2023. But a shortage of teachers' aides on the island is making that nearly impossible. Tonight, she's sharing her frustration with our Sasha Lightborn.
I need the bathroom to be closed because I can't walk.
Meet 7-year-old Royalty Newton. She has cerebral palsy, a condition that affects her movement and posture. Both of her legs are affected, making it hard for her to walk or keep her balance. And for her mother, Deandra Newton, that's meant a constant struggle just to give her daughter a normal school experience.
Grade 1, I went to the ministry and they told me they don't have any teachers aide to assist with her. So I put her in ECC, a school here called Every Child Counts.
But Newton felt her daughter didn't fit in at that school and pulled her out. She tells me she spent weeks searching for a new school, writing to and calling the Department of Education, but claims she's got no response.
I checked around to a few of the private schools here on the island, and nobody wanted to be responsible, or they don't have the facilities to deal with her.
Amidst all of this, Royalty travels to the United States every 3 months for Botox treatments to help manage her condition. Eventually, her mother enrolled her in Central Abaco Primary School, but the challenge of getting her to and from the bathroom remained.
If there's no one to take her to the restroom, how is she supposed to be in school?
Determined to give Royalty the best life possible, Newton says she's visited the Department of Education's Marsh Harbor office several times, but still hears the same thing.
My baby's going to have to repeat grade 2 because she's not ready for grade 3. She isn't in school and grade 3 is GLAD.
Newton says she believes the solution is a simple one.
I just want my baby to be in a classroom with normal children to get the education that she deserves and the education that she needs.
And Royalty feels that way too.
About them being my friends and learning.
Now, we reached out to Education Director Dominique McCartney-Russell. She said she was unaware of the matter but promised an investigation and said the ministry would be reaching out. Reporting for our news, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
All right, thanks so much for that, Sasha. From struggle to opportunities, City in Focus is back tonight with a spotlight on Freeport's push to grow its tourism product by connecting Bahamian entrepreneurs with international partners. In this installment, our news anchor, Kendino Knowles, reports on the Freeport Business Expo at the end of the month and how it's creating new opportunities for local investment.
Grand Bahama's tourism engine is revving up, and the Freeport Business Expo is being positioned as the ignition switch. As the island gets ready to welcome major developments like Carnival Celebration Key, the Expo will connect local tourism businesses with international providers who supply cruise destinations around the world.
And they are actually looking for opportunities, especially since last year, to have their products in the Bahamas, particularly in Freeport, because of the projects.
Cruise partners have long called for more to do once visitors arrive in the Bahamas, and Grand Bahama Port Authority Special Projects Manager Glendia Sweeting says this expo on April 30th aims to fill that gap.
We know that the challenge is we need more things to add to our tourism product that guests coming to the island can enjoy. They want something more to do.
The biggest benefit? Having everyone under one roof at Grand Lucayan Hotel, from developers and vendors to banks and insurers.
You have to be in the room. That is the thing. If you are not in the room, you are missing something so great. It would just be unfortunate.
To make it easier for existing and aspiring local operators, GBPA's investment website, investgrandbahama.com, now maps out every major project on the island.
If you want to be encouraged and you want to be motivated about doing something, that is a start. Information is there.
And with Carnival's opening just months away, stakeholders like Sweeting say the groundwork is finally paying off. And that's why she says she believes anyone serious about growing their business should make it a point to be at this year's expo.
This 2025 year, we are going to start to see the fruits of the labor of investors and persons here on the ground in Grand Bahama that have all been working together to make these developments actually happen.
Reporting for our news, I'm Candino Knowles.
Coming up in sports, some of our top collegiate athletes back in the mix for Carifta, why the entire track and field world will have its eyes set on TNT, and some of our pro athletes back on the outdoor circuit.
You or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. What's been described as a strong Carifta track and field team will have a few collegiate underclassmen leading the way for this much heralded group. Georgia Southern sophomore Shatalia Dorset returns for her 4th Carifta appearance following a standout indoor season where she was named Sunbelt Women's Track Newcomer of the Year and to the All Sunbelt team. She finished top 3 in every 60 meter this season and won the 60 at the Sunbelt Championships with a new personal best and school record 7.33 seconds. She was also 5th in the 200 at 23.56 seconds, the 5th fastest time in Sunbelt and 3rd in Georgia Southern history. Early in the outdoor season so far, she has a season's best of 24.11 in the 200, the 8th fastest time in Georgia Southern history, and 11.69 in the 100. Wyoming freshman jumper Coy Adderley also returns for her 4th Carifta appearance. In 2024, she just missed the medal podium in Grenada with a personal best clearance of 1.70 meters. At Wyoming this season, she's posted her indoor personal best in both the high jump and long jump at 1.65 and 5.66 meters respectively. Outdoors thus far, she has a season's best clearance of 1.66 meters. Headed into year 52, the Carifta Track and Field Championships have garnered a reputation as not just one of the top junior meets in the region, but in the world. NACAC President Mike Sands addressed the members of this year's team, impressing on them the magnitude of the event and the opportunity they have with the international track and field community watching. A hotbed for recruiting Caribbean talent, then IAAF President, the late Lemaine Diak, once called the Carifta Games on par with the World Championships due to the high concentration of world-class performances.
And so I just want you to know that the Carifta Games is recognized as the preeminent junior track and field championship anywhere to be found, to be compared with the World Junior Championships. And none other than the former president of World Athletics indicated that and designated as such.
The spotlight is currently on our juniors, but our pro athletes have also been active on the outdoor circuit. A pair of Bahamians were on track at the much anticipated inaugural Grand Slam event in Kingston, Jamaica. Terrence Jones continues to work his way back after last season's devastating hamstring injury. He finished 6th in the 100 in 10.26 seconds and was 7th in the 200 in 20.79 seconds. Denisha Cartwright also finished 6th in the women's 100-meter hurdles in 12.96 seconds. 3 games remain in the regular season, and there's still a lot left to be decided for Buddy Hield and the Golden State Warriors. Hield scored 7 points, and the Warriors defeated the Phoenix Suns last night 133-95 on the road in Phoenix. 4 teams, the Warriors, LA Clippers, Denver Nuggets, and Memphis Grizzlies, are all 47-32 headed into the final weekend of the regular season. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. 3 games remaining in the regular season, then Buddy plays meaningful basketball. Hopefully, we avoid the team in LA. Not that one, the one in purple and gold. Back to the studio.
On the other side of this break, Greg steps back into the Weather Center with a complete check on conditions across the archipelago. Stick with us.
You or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over, and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not 1, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
This is our news. Welcome back. As promised, we had some shower activity across the northwest Bahamas, all courtesy of a frontal boundary now pushing into the central Bahamas. Still have some lingering moisture across the northern islands. We expect that to be improving as the night goes on. But that front will race towards the southeast. Should get into the southeast Bahamas by Thursday evening, early Friday morning, with some isolated showers associated with that. Behind a nice change in the atmosphere. Slight cool down, not too much in terms of any cold weather expected. But once that front pushes out, high pressure will build in from the Gulf of Mexico across our area for the balance of the week. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with the boundary lurking across the central Bahamas. Once again, low pressure system on that front now going to be wrapping around some moisture across us. So like I said, we could see 1 or 2 spotty showers tonight across the northwest Bahamas, but conditions will be improving through Saturday as that front pushes towards the southeast and into the southeast Bahamas. Boating forecast, northwest Bahamas, not too bad on the waters, the exception being the extreme northern islands, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini. You have some breezy conditions up there. North to northeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be running 2 to 4 feet, but building up to 6 feet in some northerly swells, and that will be maintained northerly Bahamas. That's Grand Bahama in those areas. Tide is presently high, will be low at 1 a.m. in the morning. Your next high tide is at 7:03. in the morning as well. Southeast and central Bahamas, verbal winds at 10 knots tonight through tomorrow. Seas will be running 2 to 3 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, improving conditions tomorrow, slightly breezy across the extreme northern islands, but it will be very pleasant for the balance of the week. We do have another front expected on Saturday. That could bring us another couple of showers, but once that goes through, conditions will be in the low 80s, nice temperatures, but we start a warm up by next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for watching. I'm Italia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more